I think that is starting. Here we go. All right, hello. So I just did my whole webinar, which is why I'm late, and didn't record. So gonna do it again, but that's okay. So I've had a practice round. Wouldn't you believe it? Now, I am going to, this is the first time I've ever done a webinar, so bear with me. I'm just going to bring up my presentation and get started. So thank you so much for joining me. If you're not here live, you'll be able to watch it later. Yep. All right, here we go. So here's my little webinar on stress. The reason why I wanted to do this was because I have a lot of clients that come into me for massages and just seem to be getting more and more and more stressed. It's great that they're having massages also, by the way. It's a really great way to relax and to treat your body. But I'm just finding that everyone's getting ridiculously stressed, even myself, I have to admit. So there's going to be a few little things that I admit throughout this, and we'll get started. So here I've just chosen this image because I thought it was hilarious, and I've seen the video for this. I think it's awesome. And I've decided to have my little logo mantra there, Strutt, don't stress. So I think we need to laugh at ourselves a little bit more. Laugh in stressful situations can really help release different happy hormones and endorphins and serotonins and whatnot to get us through. So don't take life too seriously and strut it. So we're going to talk a little bit about study and whatnot, but it's going to be also just in general for stress and a few management personal opinion tips that I use. Just a few things about what stress is. Maintaining a positive mood and attitude can be very challenging at times. Life can get pretty stressful, especially when trying to multitask. Chances are you are familiar with managing several tasks at once. In today's very fast-paced environment, we often experience negative moods such as stress, discouragement and fatigue. I definitely do. Just as being in good mood gives you a sense of happiness and well-being, bad moods can also lead to negative feelings over time. So this is just a few personal things about me and my stresses. I stress when life gets too busy, when I take on too much. Most of the time, I put this onto myself, taking on way too many courses, trying to better myself. I'm just so passionate and I just want to do everything. But really, these working long hours and not scheduling enough breaks, really putting my body on the line. I'm not eating well when I'm in this state. I'm not sleeping. I'm in pain. My neck gets sore. And I'm not deal with it properly. Of course, these things only make it worse over time and seriously affect our bodies and moods. Stress is a killer. So what happens with stress is we're in the fight or flight response. You probably heard about that. So you get stressed, and back in the day, when we had to actually fight to survive in the wilderness. So that's what stress is mainly all about, is about producing this little reaction in our body to help us get ready to fight. Say there's something about to attack us, like an animal, we would have to have enough energy and strength in our bodies to fight that off, to literally survive. So our blood rushes to our extremities, arms and legs, and we're then able to have powerful reactions and whatnot to fight that. But all that blood and energy being rushed into those areas means all this survival stuff here in our body, our organs, miss out on as much nourishment and nutrients and blood supply that they need, oxygen. So they slow down because during those moments they don't need to work. So they actually slow right down to allow everything else to work better. Over time, like for a short burst of energy, that's great. But over time, chronic stress, and that happening all the time, that's pretty deadly. We need so much nutrients and oxygen and whatnot to survive here. Cardiovascular, the blood, the heart, the gut, everything just needs that. So I'll talk a bit more about that in a second. I've chosen a couple of pictures here of me wearing high vis and a hairnet down my slogging it out days where I took 6 months off to work in factories, weighing trucks on the weighbridge at a winery and an olive oil factory. And there I am in the middle slogging and shoveling pumice, which is olives crushed up, and it's spilt sometimes in the machines. And we had to shovel it because we weren't allowed to hose it down the drains because it would clog up. We had to shovel it as much as possible into buckets first. And it was itchy, and it was smelly, and it was very slippery because it was oil through that as well. And that was my job, and it was painful shoveling for that long. We didn't have to do it a lot, but thank goodness, but we did have to do that. But I loved it, actually. I had some of the best moments of my life of working in these factories. But the point of the story is that I have worked my butt off over the years, and it was always putting in those long hours and putting 110% into everything that I do, even shoveling the pumice at midnight. But why did I do that? Why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we work so hard? And not just work, but I mean study and putting effort into everything we do, cleaning our house, all those things. Why do we do it? It's to get an end goal. What are our priorities? Why we're doing it for something? So short-term goals might be to finish your exams or getting through the week at work. My long-term why is to live life as healthy as possible on an emotional and physical level, have a lot of fun doing it, and mainly to travel. So that 6 months back there working in high vis was mainly to get myself to travel. That's my only goal. I did uni, and all I ever wanted to do after uni was to travel. So I did all this factory work so that I could travel, and all I want to do is travel. It just opens your mind to the world. I think everybody needs to do a bit of travel to see what else is out there and to appreciate our lives a lot more too. And then we can just be more grateful for things that we have, and that might help us reduce stress. So we do all this long, really slogging it out and stuff. But if there's big hope, working so hard is just so that we can have a good weekend away or a holiday or something, ends up pushing ourselves to the limit, then we're not really enjoying the day-to-day bits. Really, I think we are missing the point to life. I believe that this is causing a lot of unhappiness, bad choices, and in the long run, stress. I think coming back to my why helps me get through the busy bits. But however, it is time we start enjoying the day to day and truly embracing what life is about. I believe life is about the people, the connections we have with others, love and happiness, true happiness. And that comes daily. It's not looking forward to 6 months holiday. In 6 months we'll be on holiday, and so we've got to work really, really hard and just put our heads down and go. We're missing the point. Every day we need to enjoy ourselves a lot more. So a little bit more about what is stress. What is this stress stuff? Acute stress is the most common type of stress. It's your body's immediate reaction to a new challenge, an event or a demand, and it triggers the fight or flight response, as I was mentioning. As the pressures of an argument with a family member or a costly mistake at school or work sinking in, your body turns this biological response on. Stress is the brain's response to the demand, any demand. Not all stress is bad though. Animals have a stress response, which can be life-saving in some situations, the nerve chemicals and hormones released during such stressful times prepares the animal to face a threat or flee to safety. This being said, sometimes the very word stress sets off negative associations in our minds, and in fact, chronic stress is a serious problem. As I've mentioned, over time, it can be deadly. So if you're saying in your head all the time, I'm so stressed, I'm so stressed, I'm so stressed, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed, that's going to just be drumming that in even more, and just saying that over again, even just that word is just drumming that in. It's like saying good affirmations over and over. You will eventually believe them. So saying these negative things all the time, thinking so negatively, it's going to just continuously drum that in. So we really need to shift our focus in our minds, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. When your body is under chronic stress, so over time, even just a few days, you are more likely to have a lowered immunity. And your body systems that aren't needed for immediate survival in the fight or flight situation stop working. I talked about how the digestive system slows down and the blood's not being able to get to those organs as much because they're all focused on these extremities. That's going to cause a lot of problems and whatnot as well. This continued condition eventually leads to even more serious consequences, such as you got your stress leading to anxiety, it can lead to insomnia, it can lead to quite serious depression. And once you get into these really more serious areas, it's a lot harder to bring it down. The body sets a bar here, and then you get more stress, it sets a bar here, and it goes up, up. It's quite hard to get us back down to this zero. So how do we do it? What are my top tips? So there's 7 ways here, and I really challenge you to do all 7, but don't try to think you've got to do all 7 today, because that might be stressful in itself. Pick 1 or 2 things out of there that you'd like to try today, focus on them, get it solid for this whole week, and then pick another 2 for next week, and do continuous on for this 2 weeks, these 2 for this week, and do another 2 for next week, and you'll be doing 4 next week, and then add another 2 and add another 2. And hopefully this will just become your life. I really think we need to be more proactive in this stuff and actually do it. We know we've got to do some of these things, but let's actually do it. And let's help each other out a little bit about it. We're going to talk about how we're feeling a bit stressed. But that's not, like I was saying, maybe not saying those words, stress, as much as we probably should talk about it, but just saying things more like, I've taken on too much. I don't know how I'm going to get through my day. And talking that out and then having others give you some advice and listening to them, because others may have already gone through that or have other things to say, so we can learn from each other. So number 1 is know yourself. Are you constantly worrying or unable to focus? Do you have a lack of appetite or nervous behaviour such as nail biting or pacing? I'm playing with my hands a lot during this webinar, and it's probably because I'm a little bit nervous and stressed to be doing this live. Other symptoms could be frequent headaches, I definitely get that, insomnia and excessive tiredness. If any of these sounds familiar, it may be time to check your workload. There are many more symptoms than those listed, but it's important to recognise the way that you feel and that you can fix before it becomes a bigger problem. But always seek out professional help if you want to discuss this more and identify what stresses you. Get organised. I have to be organised to be less stressed. I get so stressed if it's all in my head and I just have so many things to do and I just don't know how I'm going to deal with it. I'm a list writer. I write it all down. I've got a really great little app on my phone called Wonderlist. I write it all on there, and then it's out of my head and I don't have to worry about it, but I don't forget it because it's all there for me and it's so much less stressful for me. I have to schedule, use calendars, all those sorts of things. I have to be prepared and organised, meal prepping, all those things. So if you have laid out the plan to get tasks done, it becomes much easier to control how you spend your time. Find an organizational style that meets your needs. Not everything's going to work for everybody. So those things I just mentioned work for me. You might be even more stressed by having to do a list. So don't do it. Do something else that works for you. Take breaks and get enough sleep. I definitely need to listen to this point. Sleep at least 7 to 8 hours a night and take frequent breaks throughout your workday. Get up and about and walk around. The body doesn't want to be in that one position for more than 10 minutes at a time, which isn't very long. So if I've sat here for more than 10 minutes today, I really should be just getting up and having a little stretch, or even just in my chair, just holding on to the chair and doing a little stretch behind, or a neck stretch or whatever, just to kind of get the blood moving. The body doesn't want to sit there like that. And one of the most toxic positions for our body is actually sitting. So if you have a desk, ask if you can have a stand-up desk, or stand up every now and again, or get a bouncy ball to sit on instead of a chair. So at least you're moving a little bit. This is essential to keeping stress at bay. You can handle a crisis and even more normal tasks more easily when you don't have mental fog to distract you. Take time to exercise when your schedule seems as full as possible. As you think you can't fit any more in there, how do I have time to exercise? It's actually, in fact, that you are more able to do, but it is a fact that you are able to do more when you take care of your body. Taking just half an hour out of your day, 3 days a week to do some exercise will improve your overall well-being. We all know that, but when are we going to do it, I suppose? But you honestly will be able to tackle your day so much better when you've done half an hour of exercise. And I notice I haven't been doing as much exercise lately. I've stopped going to the gym as much, or at all at the moment. And the biggest notice is not just in my physical body, but in my moods and how I react to certain situations. I'm so much more like snappy. Put two and two together, it's due to not exercising. I come home from the gym and I'm so on high. I've got all these endorphins running through me and happy hormones, serotonin running through me, and I have such a good night's sleep and everything's happier and just so much better able to deal with life. Eat a balanced diet. This is important in addition to proper sleep and exercise. Don't just exercise and think you can eat whatever. It does not work like that. It's 80% of your diet is related and it's 20% exercise. It takes time to plan out healthy regular meals, but if you fuel your body the right way, the energy you have will surprise you. We know that we are what we eat, but far out we are so much what we eat. Everything comes down to our diet, I believe. Your gut health, your moods, everything is so much related to diet. And when you think of it as a health and you're nourishing your body more so than I've got to lose weight, you're so much more, I am so much more likely to eat well. Schedule leisure time for things you enjoy so that you have something to look forward to. Whether it's as simple as reading a book or watching a movie, downtime is essential to feeling rejuvenated and ready for the rest of your schedule. So, you know, this is where I was talking about the day-to-day pleasures. Not just thinking, oh, I've got to put my head down and work really hard to get to the 6 months holiday. It's every day. Look forward to something every day. What's it going to be? I really enjoy my mornings, actually. Meditate and focus on positive affirmations. Breathing deeply helps you ground yourself in the present and refocus. It can also be soothing to the mind. Having positive thoughts, especially about yourself, helps you see that you're worth the effort and that you put yourself in. You put into yourself. Even if you can only repeat one positive thing about yourself, make it a mantra and say it over and over and over again. What's your mantra? That's the thing I was talking about. If you're saying I'm stressed all the time, it's going to be negative affirmations. But thinking about I'm going to have a really good day today in your head every morning, and maybe you will. And you will because you're saying it over and over and over. Daily relaxation to relieve stress. Relaxation should calm the tension in your mind and body. Some good forms of relaxation that I use are yoga, aromatherapy, and meditation. If none of those resonate with you, don't do them. Find what works for you. Sit out in the sun, have a cup of tea, read a book. I think everyone should do a bit of yoga because it's for everybody. You don't have to be flexible or young. Any age can do it. Any ailments, injuries, flexibility or fitness levels can do yoga, absolutely. So seek out your yoga teacher in your town and do it. So that's just me. That's all I really needed to talk about. If you'd like any more information about that, then get in touch, take a screenshot of this and get in touch. I've got lots of ideas for aromatherapy and how that can help your relaxation. And just going to be announcing that my next webinar will be in about 3 weeks on a Sunday at 1 o'clock, and it's actually going to be a free yoga session. So I'll be doing yoga and demonstrating and showing and running the session and going over the yoga blends that have just been released through doTERRA, and I'll hopefully have them by then. And to be going over the 3 blends and what they do and how they can affect our moods and relaxation and mindset, and be using them throughout my yoga practice that day. It goes for 20 minutes. Hopefully I won't go over time, and we'll just feel better for the rest of our Sunday when we're all stretched and relaxed. So keep an eye on my Facebook page for that. Be sure to click and register and send that to a friend who might also benefit from it. And really thank you for your time. I really hope that this will just kickstart something for you, and that you start really giving it a go and trying to do one thing at least a day to help relax you, even if it's taking deep breaths. So I might even do that now just to finish. So it's amazing what a deep breath can do. Thank you. And Strutt, don't stress.